What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So here we are once again in VMware redoing a video because things have changed and I wanted to make a better quality video for you guys. So this is us building Open Ocarina of Time, the PC port of, well, the classic Nintendo 64, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is the accurate port, the one that has true 60 FPS, true 120 FPS, through to 40 FPS and actual 30 FPS. No interpolation, so you actually have the true frame rate. And an amazing amount of work has gone into this project, bug fixing and so on. So let's get compiling this thing. But before we do, we're going to have to install the tools. We're going to start first with Python, because most people usually have issues with Python. We are going to add to path, so install now. Now, of course, this is going to take a small bit of time, but it is, I guess, worth it to see the full installation. Now, the next thing we're going to be installing is called Git. This allows us to clone the repository, as the Open Ocarina of Time PC port is fully open source. You are able to come join, work on it, fix bugs, and report bugs. So let's install Git next. Okay, so hit next, 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 and there you go. It's all ready and installed. Now now the big one is Visual Studios, and the reason it's the big dog is because it is a huge install. Not really, I mean, it installs super compressed, but still, it could be a bit, is that really 9 gigs after installation? Yes, it is. And it's nothing to be scared about. Having it on your computer is actually, pretty cool. So we're going to start that up now. And the reason I did this in VMware is because I wanted to show you every step by step. And the last video, it showed the compiling parts, but it didn't show you this part. So I'd figure, why not? So this is one you're going to be installing. This is desktop development with C++. And you're going to go for default. Wow, they shrunk the install size to only 5.77 gigs. That's actually pretty good. So we're going to hit install, and it's going to install everything while you're downloading. So as you can see, it's a maximum of 1.56 gigs. Ignore this build tools if you don't have this here. That's fine. I don't expect you to. If you're installing this from scratch, you're not going to have this. This was for another video I just did on the same exact subject, except a much easier method. Now that it's finished downloading, it's going to be installing every single one of the packages that it just finished downloading. Now, this could take a little bit of time, so have some patience. Just sit by and hope for the best. If you have an NVMe, this is going to take no time at all. And it's done installing. So we're going to exit out of this. We're going to hit the start button, and we're going to do git, and we're going to go into git bash. Now you can also use the normal terminal if you want. So in other words, the command prompt. And if you need to, you can just paste this out. This is git clone -- recursive and the link to the GitHub. Now, in a wiki, you're going to find all these commands with step-by-steps on how to do this, but we're going to be doing this in the video. You're going to use that wiki to copy these commands to make things easier for you. So we're going to hit enter. As you can see, it's going to clone into a brand new made folder. This is going to receive objects, and it's going to grab other things that it needs to compile, such as audio, and of course, the thing it uses to render the frame buffer, which is Ryzen N64. So this is the part where that -- recursive comes in. So what it's going to do is it's going to grab both of these. This one is for audio, and this one, of course, is for rendering the graphics on the back end, even though that's used by OpenGL. This is meant for accuracy for rendering graphics. That's why it's used. Okay, so without this, you wouldn't have the actual frame buffer that is responsible for rendering many effects. Like when you go to the pause screen to equip the tunic, you'll know that Link is standing still. basically it captures an image from the frame buffer and it puts it there. And it's not supposed to move. It's not a 3D model. It's just a captured image. And without the frame buffer, that's going to be a black box. All right. So what somebody else would do if they can't have actual frame buffer support is they're going to have an animated link there moving for some reason, and it just looks silly. And it's not true to an actual port. And that just looks really janky. But in this port, of course, you will have accurate rendering. This is what you're going to type: Python space setup.py space -b space pal in all caps underscore 1.0. Now, if you want to, compile the master quest, you'll have to do the other one, but you'll find all that information in the wiki. And trust me, it's very well written, so you should have no issues. So this is our ROM, and I'm hoping this is the right one. It should be. It's V64. We're going to copy it, and I'm going to go to this PC, local disk, user. That's my username folder directory. Okay, yours will obviously say your username. We're going to go into ROMs, PAL, and we're going to paste this in here. This needs to be called base ROM underscore original.v64. And then once again, we're going to do the same command. And you could do that by pressing the up key. Now, once it finds the proper ROM, it's going to decompress it. And this next part depends entirely on how many cores and how many threads you have. The more you have, the faster this process will take. Anyway, we're not going to waste any time at all. And I'm going to pause here and we'll be back after it's finished. All right, so at this point, it's finished, and it's going to exit the script, and we can get on to compiling the port now. This part usually, for some reason, just takes a little bit longer, and there you go. So we're going to exit this window, and what we're going to do is, once again, we're going to go and find out where it was cloned. And as you can see, we're in our home directory in our user folder. So we're going to head into VS, and we're going to find oot.sln, and we're going to open it with Microsoft Visual Studios 2022. Minimize that, and it's going to take a second and to open up, of course. I don't want to do that. Don't want to log in right now. For this video, we are going to choose light mode just so I can make sure you guys can see everything. And I know, oh God, my eyes, light mode, it hurts, it hurts. Whatever, it happens. Point of this video is to be as clear as I possibly can, and hopefully that's what I'm doing. And if not, I have officially fired myself. Yep. So up top, you're going to want to switch debug to release, and x64 to Win32. That's going to take a second to transition over by the looks of it. And once that's done, you're going to right click here and you're going to hit build. Now, the reason we use release over debug is because release is faster. If you're not working on the project, debugging issues, fixing things, there's no point in using it. If you do come across a crash and you can reproduce the crash, using debug is probably the best option. That way the error will show up, of course, in Visual Studios, and you can go immediately and talk to the developer about it on Discord. Now, as I said, you're going to find the wiki in the description below, which should have all the information you need. There's a fact section, there's a compile section, there's loads of stuff, including keybinds, how to use high-resolution texture packs, and so on. So that's it. We're done compiling. You can exit out of this, and I'm going to show you where your build is. So we're going to head into VS still. We're going to go to release, and this is it. This is your application. Start it up. It's going to obviously start up in full screen automatically, but because we're on a VM, you need to remember that this is going to be very slow. Not anything I can control. Anyway, we're going to hop out of this, and I'm going to show you a couple things in the config folder, okay? Because it just got generated right here. Now, for some reason, it's opening up in Visual Studios. I don't know why. I'm not going to question it. You can open this up in Notepad, Notepad++. I recommend Notepad++. Now, if you don't like the new camera, set this to true. Okay? If you don't want the if you want to disable the distance clip, set this to true. Okay? And you can set that there. If you want some cheats, you can be invincible. You can set your speed. You can blind the Gerudo guards. This is for adjusting your controls. Okay? There's gyro. You have it enabled. And I believe there's something here. Enable action button override. There's a whole bunch of other cool stuff here. So graphics enabled, audio enabled, full screen. You can set that to false and it won't automatically boot into full screen. Blind owls, I believe that basically makes it so you can bypass all owls. There's a record tasks button, force mouse. So if you don't want a mouse, you can set that to disable. There is a gamepad screen in the start menu of the game. If you want to get rid of that, set this to false. If you want to enable the debug level select, set this to true and then hit F5 on your keyboard. Pause, exit, input, clear frames. I don't know what that does. You have text scrolling speed, fast forward speed, language, and your frame rate. Now, to be able to change frame rate, all you have to do is hit F8. That goes to 30, then to 60, then to 120, and then finally to 240. 60 is pretty stable for now. Stick to 20 for any bugs that you have on 60. When you exit some areas, you might lose audio. Basically, head back, switch to 20, head back in, you'll have the audio. And then when you exit that area, you can just switch back to 60 or 120 and have a lot of fun. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. Don't forget to check the description for the link to the wiki that explains everything. I'll be adding more information as more information is given to me. I will add as much information about the config as physically possible, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.